Do 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 do. Are we live? Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Monday night. We're going to do cards. Hello and welcome. It is time for our Monday mini medicine card readings. Woohoo! So what we do, I am Patrick, by the way. Welcome, come on in. I hope we're live. I haven't seen anybody pop up yet, but I'm going to keep talking to myself because that's just how crazy I am. So come on in, join me for the circle. Let's see what we do here. I have this lovely deck of cards. I have had a version of these cards since the late 80s, since my college days. And these are the medicine cards. So they have, each card has a different animal, totem on it. And what we do here is I pull 3 cards, and then you choose a number between 1 and 3. And whichever card corresponds to the card you pull, or that you choose, that is your guidance for the week. That is the totem animal that has chosen to walk with you this week, give you their guidance, their strength, their medicine, which is why they're called medicine cards, because it's not, a lot of times I'll tell people, oh yeah, I'll do a medicine card reading for you. I'm like, well, I don't really need a medical intuitive. That's not that kind of medicine. It's medicine in the Native American sense, where medicine is like everything has its own medicine. Every person has their own medicine. Every animal has their own medicine. And so they're medicine cards because we are sharing the medicine of the different animals. The medicine being whatever their unique energy, wherever that their position in the web of life, etc. So each one has its unique medicine, and we can learn from and share that medicine with them. In shamanism, we call them power animals, because what their job is actually is to empower us. They basically just got some sage going so I can smudge my cards while we're talking. So in shamanism, we talk about power animals, and your power animals are your animal spirit guides, and what their job is to empower you. They like, if we were to plug into source energy, universal creative energy, as we are now, we would just totally fritz out. We would disappear in an explosion. Whoa. Okay, we'll talk about Spider in a minute. Spider just jumped out. Hey, Feather, welcome. And so your power animals, what they do is they plug into universal energy, and then they step it down. They're like transformers, and they step down the vibration to one that we can handle, and then they plug into us. So they literally open up a new channel of power to empower us, to bring us more power, more connection to source, to creator. And then as we grow and learn and evolve, the power animals kind of open that channel and allow us to bring in more and more of that creative power. So that's what power animals, if you ever hear me saying power animals, that's what I mean. And there are so many different varieties, different labels, I guess, of animal guides, you know, there's the totems. Like I tend to use the word totem because that's what people understand. Oh, that's a lot of sage smoke. But totem actually comes from, I think it's a Cherokee word. And it actually means kin. So when we're talking about totem animals, that is like, your totem animals are like the clan you were born into. It's a matter of identity. You know, your totem animal, or animals, depending on what tradition you are, you can have from 1 to 97, however many unlimited totems, because it's like, it's about identity, kind of like the zodiac. Like you're born under a certain sign, and you have certain qualities. It's a part of your identity. And as I just recently found out, like in the last couple of years, is totems are also inherited. And I actually met a totem. A big old brown Russian bear showed up one time in one of my shamanic journeys. And I'm like, I don't remember you around here before. Who are you? And she was like, well, I'm one of your totems, but not your individual totem. I'm the totem. I'm one of the totems of your ancestors. And so I was like, cool. So it's like getting this inheritance of totems. And so your totem animals are the ones, like I said, there's kind of a sense of identity, the clan you're born into, the connection, your identity of who you are. And the totem animal is with you from birth till death, possibly beyond those 2 points. And then your animal spirit guides, or like I said, the power animals, that's the term we use in shamanism. Those are, it's like that phrase that I've seen the meme going around endlessly about how friends are there for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. That's the power animals. They are your friends. The whole point is not just, like I was raised Catholic, and so we were raised like, okay, I need this thing, I need help with this particular thing. Look up the saints, we had a book of saints. Okay, I need help with home. And so you'd look up which saint goes for, home stuff. Oh, okay. And I think it was St. Joseph, if I remember correctly. And so then you'd pray to St. Joseph, right? And so it's the same kind of thing with the power animals. If you have specific needs, you can approach specific animals, since that is their expertise, but also realizing that, like that whole thing in childhood with the saints was it's kind of like a diction, like there's all the dictionaries of animal guides and different things, which are awesome. But I think somewhere along the line, we missed the point that these are living, sentient beings that are here to help us. They are here, they choose who they help, not the other way around. Which is why when you first meet your power animals, everybody wants the bear or the lion or the eagle, but whichever animal chooses to work with you is indicative of what help you need, or what your strengths are that they're trying to help you find your potential. And so the power animals, like that Friends meme, can come in for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So you might have animal guides that just pop up for a short period, it could be even just a day or something, to get with a specific reason, a specific challenge. And then you can have others that come in for more long-term challenges, or like specific periods of your life. And you can have ones that remain with you, even though they're not a totem animal officially. They can stay with you basically the rest of your life. In fact, my teacher, Sandra Ingerman, talks about one of her power animals, and she's actually never said what that animal is. So that kind of shows how it's a relationship just as any other relationship, just like any other friendship. And there's privacy, and there's, you get permission to share things. You're asked to hold things closer to your heart, just like a real friendship, a real relationship. But that her specific power animal had served his purpose, or her purpose, and was getting ready to leave, and she asked them not to, and so they stuck around, said, okay, yeah, I can stick around. And so she still has access to that power animal. It's like, just like anything else, there are no rules, only guidelines. And your relationship with your animal guides is personal, unique, and is a relationship worth nurturing. So, and if you're ever interested in knowing what your power animal is, or your totem animal is, I have a policy. I do not and will not tell people what their power animals is one thing. I might tell you what power animals are coming in to help, but I refuse to tell people what their totem animal is, because it is such a personal thing that I will guide you. I can, if you want to come to me, I can help you meet your totem animal. In fact, if I shut up anytime soon, we might have time to do a guided meditation at the end. And I do that similar guided meditation to help people find their own totem animal, to meet with their totem animal and connect with them, because it is a personal thing. And I don't want anyone in the world going, yeah, my totem is such and such, and I know because that shaman told me. It's like, that's secondhand knowledge, that's hearsay, and that is not good enough. That is something that everybody should find out for themselves. It should be a personal, experiential thing. So I will not overstep that and tell someone what their totem animal is. I might say things like, oh, that sounds kind of like such and such medicine. You might look into that. That might be one of your totems, but I never will say, that's your totem. So just something to think about. And so tonight, we are working with the power animals, the spirit animal guides, and then there's there's also what I kind of call the heralds, or the harbingers. That's the word I use. When you see an animal like in 3D, and it could be like a picture, or you might hear someone talking about a specific animal, or you might dream about him, or you might see an eagle flying over, or whatever. And that is significant as well. That is animals acting as a messenger of the gods, right? Of, more in the terms of signs and omens. And then another thing I always tell people is check in, when that happens. And even tonight, when you choose a card and you get a specific animal, take what I say with a grain of salt. If it resonates, take it. But I always recommend, and that's why I do the meditation at the end, for you to be able to meet the animal yourself, is that, and I said this earlier, we each have our own unique relationship to the animals. What one animal means for one person is totally different for someone else. take wolf for the example. You know, here in America, we tend to love wolves. You know, it's like you want to go out in the woods, wolf is what you think of, and we're all like, they're beautiful, and unless you're a rancher, and then you hate them and you want to kill them all. You know, there's a different relationship. And, you know, going back into the fairy tales of the old country, you know, it was always the big bad wolf. The wolf was something to fear. It was, you know, but now it's like wolves are seen as the teachers that they are. It'd be really funny if wolf came up. Oh, there's Coyote. But so when you see an animal or hear about an animal or whatever, the important thing is to check in with yourself first and ask yourself, what is the message? Ask the animal, connect to the spirit of that animal, and say, what is your message for me? Or just think about, what does that animal, like, how does that animal live? Does it fly? Does it swim? What does it eat? And utilize that as a sign for whatever questions you were having or whatever challenge you're going through. And it's important to do that first, and then look it up. There's a book, Animals Speak by Ted Andrews. Yeah. It's by Ted Andrews, right? Yeah, Ted Andrews, Animals Speak, and there's a number of other good books about totems and spirit animal guides and all of that. But ask yourself first, and then validate it by looking it up. You get so much more when you can validate your own intuition, instead of being dependent on what someone else thinks or someone else's experience is. So trust your hearts. You know this stuff. You know, I was just watching something, I saw a video someone put out today, and it was some message from a cave woman. It was like a channeling kind of thing, and it just occurred to me that we have all been those people. We are our ancestors, right? You have been here in countless incarnations, in countless lives. This knowledge is in your bones. It's in your blood. And so we can trust that. And that's part of my job, that I feel that my job is to empower you to be able to connect to that spirit within you and to validate that knowledge and that wisdom that you have that you don't think you do. So that's kind of my mission. That's my job description. So anyway, so again, thank you. I know a bunch of people came in since I started talking. Thank you and welcome. Thank you for coming in. If you are new here, what we're going to do, I have this lovely deck of cards with the totem animals, the power animals. I'm going to pull 3 cards, so you get to choose a number between 1 and 3. And whichever card corresponds to the number you choose, that is your guidance for the week. And that's why I do this on Mondays, so to kind of give everybody a little bit of extra guidance for the week. And if you want to, you can choose more than one. You can choose a couple of cards. You can choose all 3 cards. And just see what happens. So, all right. All right, so choose your numbers. Yay, okay. So I have 3 cards down here. If 1 was your card, if 1 was the number you chose, you got the Deer. Deer is compassion. If this is your card, it's about looking at the world through the eyes of a child, those wonder, the eyes of wonder, of curiosity. spirits are really here. My nose is itching. I heard that that's a sign. If you're getting a reading from someone and they keep itching their nose, scratching their nose, it means that the spirits are here. Anyway, so Deer is about that curiosity, that childlike curiosity and open-mindedness, open-heartedness, to look at things with beginner's eyes. You know, like they talk about Zen mind, beginner's mind, and how you look when you don't assume anything. You don't take anything for granted. You just see things as they are presented to you, without preconceived ideas. You know, I like to use that story about there was someplace a truck drove under a bridge that was too low, and the truck got stuck halfway through or whatever, right? And so they called in all these engineers, they called in these city officials, all these crews to look at this situation, figure out how the heck they were going to get this truck stuck from under this bridge, and they're coming up with schemes and diagrams and theories, blah, blah, blah. And while they're all milling about, talking and trying to figure it out, this little kid, like 5-year-old kid, comes riding along on his bike and says, "Why don't you just let the air out of the tires?" So sometimes we can get so over complex in our thinking, or we get caught into that, the official theories and blah, 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 that we don't actually, that's when they talk about you can't see the forest for the trees, right? There's too many trees in the way. I can't see, where's this forest? I don't see it. There's too many trees in the way, right? So it's like opening your eyes to what's there. There's this wonderful meditation technique that I learned long ago, and it is one of the best meditative techniques I've ever learned. And it's basically where you just sit, you close your eyes, and you just open your ears, and you just listen. And you listen to whatever sounds are there without labeling them. That's the key. And so all of that sound, it might be a car going by, it might be someone talking in the background, bird songs, whatever it is, and you just listen wholeheartedly, whole-earedly to what's going on. And it's like, it so brings you into the moment. And it's one of the deepest meditative practices I've ever learned. And so it's that ability to open up without labeling things, to be able to see things without the preconceived diagrams and theories and blah, blah, blah. And like, why don't you just let the air out of the tires, right? So along with that comes the compassion. Not only compassion for others, but especially self-compassion. Being able to see yourself. Let's see, how do I put this? So it is basically the embodiment of that namaste, right? Namaste means the God in me greets the God in you. Well, you can't greet the God in someone else unless you're aware of the God in you. And so, and it's easy. Well, sometimes it's easier, I'll put it that way. It's easier to see through someone else's facade and armor and what else? Like the image they're trying to put out there, to see to who they really are, than it is to sometimes see through our own crap, our own story, and be able to see beneath all the stories that we tell ourselves, allowing ourselves to be defined by what others have told us, you know, who we're supposed to be or what we're supposed to do. Looking beyond that to our own divinity, to saying, I am perfect. You know, just like Mr. Rogers told us, you're perfect just the way you are. And that perfection does not preclude evolving, changing, growing. It means that at this moment you are perfect. And in every moment from then, no matter what happens, you are also perfect. And so it's seeing that it's going back into that innocence of the child, that you're looking through the child's eyes to see the world of wonderment, you know. But to be able to look at your own heart and see the innocence of the child who was traumatized or punished or whatever it was that made them need to put up these barriers or walls or armor in order to protect themselves, you know. So it's having that compassion for yourself. Give yourself the benefit of the doubt. Know that you have never done anything wrong, that everything that you have done, everything that has happened has been for the experience and the learning of it. And that's what they mean, like with Einstein, when he said, you know, it took him thousands of ways to learn how not to make a light bulb before he invented the light bulb. You know, it's like success stands on the shoulders of all of those so-called failures. But the only failure is if you don't rise again. If you fall down and you don't rise. Otherwise, there is nothing wrong with you. You're already whole. You are already a high vibration spiritual being having a human experience. And so it's looking through those filters of humanness, of judgment, of expectations and opinions to see that divine spark in yourself. And it's from that divine spark that you can then see it in everybody else, right? And so the story that goes with deer, and I have a feeling we're not going to get to the meditation night because I'm rambling off at the mouth. Deer, there's a story that goes with deer. Some of you probably heard this because it's come up before. But one day, Great Spirit was on top of his mountain, and it was such a glorious day, and he was so happy. He just wanted to celebrate. And so he invited all the woodland creatures around to come and join him on top of his mountain to celebrate. But the thing is that there was a troll living at the base of the mountain, and all the woodland creatures were afraid of the troll, so none of them would accept the invitation, except for Deer, who was so excited to come party with the Great Spirit that she just came bounding along the path all happy and singing. And then the troll jumps out and threatens her, and roars at her, and instead of being afraid, like running away in fear or fighting, Deer just looked at the troll, looked him in the eyes, and just kind of cocked her head and was like, "Why are you so angry? What did someone do to you to hurt you so badly?" And the troll, whose sustenance depended on conflict and fear, had nothing to push against. And so the troll just faded away. And so Deer, through love, through compassion, through seeing through the facade of pain and anger to the heart of an equal divine being who was hurting, she was able to open up the path to Great Spirit for all the other creatures. It didn't come through fisticuffs, through battling and destroying the enemy. It came through love, through seeing what was truly there and what was illusion. So if this is your card, this week you are tasked with going through your world, looking at things as if you've never seen them before. For 1 week, I challenge you, for 1 week, to take your cynicism and the sarcasm and put them in a box and put it on a shelf. You can reclaim them after this week is over, but take your cynicism, roll them up and put them in a box and look at the world with new eyes. Look at the world and expectant. It's like I always, in my shamanic classes, when I'm teaching people how to do shamanic journeys and such, one of the main ingredients is expectant curiosity. You know something's going to happen. You know, it's like looking for the good, looking for the happy surprises, expecting good things to happen, but not knowing what they are. And so go through your world with curiosity, like, oh, this thing has happened, and oh, this is just run of the mill. This thing has happened every single day for 50 years. It's not going to be any different. What if you woke up one morning and you just looked at it like, whoa, and actually became present for it rather than just going into, pilot light mode and just going through the actions? What if you lived deeply in your day, and rather than using the cynicism to protect yourself and like, oh, well, that's not going to help. Oh yeah, like that's going to happen. What if it does? What if miracles are real? What if that is the way nature works? What if everything does work out? What if there is a happy ending? You're not going to know until you, like Dr. Wayne Dyer says, you see it when you believe it. So if you don't believe it, if you're cynical about everything, you're never going to get anywhere, right? I had this thought yesterday, I believe it was, that, we reward sarcasm and we reward cynicism as if that is the normal way to be. And it's like this fear of getting your expectations up, because we have been so hurt and so jaded for so long that we have a hard time picturing things working out, And so that cynicism, and especially here's the point that I was thinking about, is that we're cynical because of other people. We're cynical because we see how other people act, and then because that's the way other people act, we think it takes us off the hook. Oh, I don't have to be anything extraordinary because no one else is, and it's not going to get me anywhere anyway. Well, you're listening to the caterpillars. Pay attention to the butterflies, right? I mean, me and my fiance just watched that there's a Netflix special about Betty White. And it's like, if there was ever a beacon of love and kindness, and what happens when you believe, what happens when you do look for the good, it's amazing. So don't listen to the caterpillars. Let go of the cynicism. You're just giving yourself an excuse not to grow. And if you're judging yourself by what everyone else is doing, that's not the point of being here. You didn't come here to blend in. You came here to shine. You came here to walk your personal medicine path and to share that radiant light that you are with the rest of the world, right? So don't judge, it's, and even in metaphysical, new age, spiritual circles, we're taught we have to save the world. And we're all about teaching and healing and saving the world and changing people. And we're not changing ourselves. Find your own divinity first. That's when things change. And then you watch everyone around you shift. And they'll either shift out of your life because they can't match your frequency, or they will rise to meet yours. That is the most amazing thing. And when you look for the happy, when you look for the good, you know, and I'm not saying discount the bad or the dark, you know, but when we know that the universe is on our side, then everything that happens is a step forward, and we can utilize every challenge, every downturn as a way to flip even higher. You know, like I'm an archer. When you know, the further back you pull the string, the further the arrow goes, you know, and it's the pulling back that is the hard part. That's the stretch. That's where the strength is needed. And then you let go. You literally loose the arrow. So those times that are hard and kind of you take a downturn and all of that, that's drawing back the arrow. And at some point, the arrow is going to fly, and it's going to be, it's when you surrender to life that it takes off. So that is number one. We're like almost 45 minutes into this, and I'm only on card one. That's card one, deer. Number two, if two was your card, we have dog. So wolf didn't show up tonight, but dog did. Dog is about loyalty, but it's truly about love. You know, it's similar to deer. It's no strange occurrence that they're both up here at the same time, because dog is about love. It's about loyalty, about honoring and supporting your family, your pack, right? But again, just like deer, you have to have that love inside of you first. It's about finding your own path, finding your own empowerment, and through that, raising your frequency, and then your let's see, what was I? Sorry, I saw it better. Oh, the wolf. Dog is about that, about family, but you know, it's about just like in the wolf pack. It's so I am going to talk a little bit about wolf because that's where dog came from. I love that meme where it's got a wolf. It's like, oh, those humans, they have some food. Maybe I'll go stay by their campfire. What's the worst can happen? And then 10,000 years later, and you're looking at a picture of a chihuahua. But anyway, so dog is, they have to have that loyalty to themselves. They have to have that self-love. Otherwise, they can't be, I mean, how can you be loyal to someone or something if you don't have that sense of loyalty to yourself, right? And dogs, wolves, all canines are guardians. So this is a sign of guarding, not, how do I put this? Because when you say guard, you know, you're automatically, I'm on guard, right? You've got someone guarding. And that's not the sense I want to bring into this. But dogs are guardians in that they watch the borderlines, they watch the parameters, and they allow those in that are welcome, and they keep those out that are not. So this is, if that's your card, the message is one of boundaries, of guarding yourself, not guarding yourself, guardianing. We're going to make a new word, guardianing yourself, allowing those in that love you, that support you, and barking at everyone who doesn't, like keeping that line, like, no, I am not going to go to lunch with you because Every time I'm with you, you drain. My energy drains. I find myself exhausted every time I'm around you. So no, I'm not going to do that. No, I'm not going to answer your call. You know, and then like, because I have certain people, like if they call on the, I don't tend to answer my phone. I tend to let it go to voicemail, and usually because I'm busy or whatever. But there's a few special people that if my phone rings and I see their name there, it's like, yeah, hello. And that's not selfish. We have to get over this idea in our society that taking care of ourselves, putting ourselves first is selfish. Because just like dog, you can't be a good citizen, you know, if you don't care about yourself. You can't truly serve others unless you have the strength to do that. You know, it's the same thing that's going on in our world right now as we're shifting into a different, you know, reality, a different paradigm. I know that word gets overused, but coming to the place of mutual respect, mutual honoring, of seeing the strength and the beauty in all people, every single person on the planet, all living beings. And when I say that, I include the rock people and the tree people. When you are whole, when you are taken care of, when your needs are fulfilled, then you are self-empowered and you have more to offer the world. If people have a home, they have food, they have shelter, they have clothing, they have an income, they don't have to fight, they don't have to, empowered people don't fight for resources. And it's when we keep people in fear, when we keep people in scarcity, when we keep people in need, that becomes a source of unevenness, of having to ration out resources and all of this, when there's enough for everybody, right? And so the more you empower yourself, the more you love yourself, the better you can be for the world, for your family, you know, and then you become, then your pack shows up, the people show up in your life that love you and support you with no ulterior motives because they are self-supporting, right? And so you're holding each other up. It's not, okay, I'm weak now, I need your power, yoink. It's like, oh, I see you're inspiring me, thank you. You know, it's like holding each other up, reminding us of who we are, not giving our power to someone else to lift us up, not giving our power to someone else because we think that they're weak and we're strong. It's standing in your power and raising someone else by seeing the divine in them and reminding them of who they truly are, reminding them of their strengths rather than their weaknesses. You know, holding that vision of them in their wholeness, that does worlds of difference, okay? So the message is love yourself. You're worth it. You are so worth it. And you are enough. You don't have to change anything about yourself to be lovable. Love yourself and everything else will fall away. Okay, number 3, and this is usually the point where I start the meditation, so we are probably not going to get there tonight. I apologize. Just had a lot to say today. Number 3, if 3 was your card, you got bear, mama bear. And bear is about introspection. Bear is about going into the cave, which any cave, any opening in the ground, in the earth, going into the earth is going into the womb of the mother. It's about symbolic death and rebirth, basically. We go back to the womb to sleep, to recharge, to dream, so that come spring, we can frolic, right? We're reborn. And so if you're going through some darkness right now, which a lot of us are, and it's the dark half of the year, the days are starting to get a little bit longer, but the darkness still holds sway. So, excuse me, welcome that darkness. Rather than running away from the bear, thank you, love. Pardon me. Hold, please. Needed that. So, rather than, just like, here we come full circle, just like deer looking at the troll and saying, who hurt you? Instead of running away from the bear, being afraid of the bear, embrace the bear. Crawl into the cave with bear. Curl up with bear. She will protect you. She will hold you. And know that that darkness is the womb. The darkness is not bad. It's not evil. We are just not taught how to handle the dark. We're never taught how to navigate the dark. But the dark is the womb of the mother. And it is in the dark that every possible reality, every possible future exists. So when we go into the dark, we find ourselves in the dark, know that you are safe. That, just like when you're in your mother's womb, you are the safest you will ever be, right? So if you're finding yourself in darkness, know that you are being held by Mother, by Goddess, and that you are getting ready to be reborn. And again, like I said, so when I was a kid, I was a worrywart. And I can still kind of get into that mode. But when I was a kid, and I had something I was worrying about to the point of not being able to sleep, my mom would tell me to picture, here's my mom, this great Catholic woman, telling me to do creative visualization as a kid. But she said to picture a shelf on the wall above my bed, and that on that shelf is a treasure chest. And to take that worry and put that in that box, that's the God box. And to put that worry in that box so God can watch over it and take care of it so you can sleep. And it's like I said earlier with the cynicism, that's where I'm going with this. It's like you can pick it up, you can open the box, you can take the worry back out in the morning if you want to. But for now, put it in that God box. Give it to God and let God watch over it. And so when you go into the dark, take that cynicism, out, put it in the God box. Let God, Goddess, Creator watch over it for you. Take it off of your hands and be in the darkness and explore rather than the worst case scenarios. That's where that cynicism comes in. Take the worst case scenarios, take the cynicism out of it, put it in that God box for Creator to watch over so that you can sleep, so you can rest, so that you can come up with new dreams of how you want your life to be. And instead of entertaining the worst case scenarios, what's the best case scenarios? What do you want to find? What do you want your life to be like when you come out of the darkness, right? Because every possible reality exists there, and you can choose which one you're going to pull out of the darkness into the light. Um, and, you know, bringing quantum physics into this, every possible future already exists. And so, whatever situation you are in, no matter how dire or hopeless it may look, there is a timeline where there is a perfectly harmonious solution. It already exists. It's a matter of claiming it, of opening to receive it, and to move in that direction. You know, like, I always forget if it was Thoreau or Joseph Campbell who talked about moving. You know, when you move in the direction of your dreams, doors appear where before there were only walls. And so this is like, go into the dream time, go into the darkness, meditate, come in to alignment. It's more important what you do with your frequency than what you act out in the world. By moving into that frequency, into that dark, you know, the dark is only dark because it's unknown, because you haven't decided what you're going to do with it yet. That's why it's dark, because there are endless possibilities. And the universe is waiting for you to decide which one you want. And that's when I talk about, you know, the universe is like a giant GPS system, right? You make your prayer request, your intentions, you decide, you know, what is it that you want. You plug that in to the GPS system, right? That's what we do when we're in the dark. It's like, okay, I can picture myself there. I know exactly where it is. Universe, this is what I want, right? And oh, I like that. The walls are actually doors waiting to be opened. That's awesome. I love that. Thank you, Bob. And I lost my train of thought. Oh, but so we set those intentions. We you know, feel like when we're wanting something, it's not actually that thing that we want. It's the feeling that we want. We want to feel safe. We want to feel taken care of. And there are things in the world like, okay, once that happens, then I will feel good. Then I can feel safe. Then I can exhale, right? But you have the power to feel that now in the dark, and to imagine what it's like to bring that feeling in, to own that feeling. And the more you do that, the quicker that will manifest in the outside world, because the outside world must mirror what's on the inside. So utilize the dark. Let it be an adventure, right? If you don't know the outcome, oh boy, what can we do with this, right? It becomes, because, like I said, you are already whole. You are already divine. There is nothing that can destroy you. Who you are in your essence, that light and love of creative source. You've been here before time began. You will be here long afterwards. The personality, the body can be laid down, but you will continue on. And so knowing this, knowing that nothing will ever destroy you, knowing you are immortal, that you are invincible, then there's your happy ending. There's no room for cynicism in that. If you can't tell, that's my pet peeve. Yeah, as if cynicism is going to work. But there's your happy ending. Like a while back, I've talked about this before, how I had a 10-year period of extreme anxiety and panic attacks, and I literally thought every day was going to be my last for 10 years. So I know darkness. I know anxiety. I know fear. But where was I going with that? Oh my God. But at, when the pandemic started, I felt some of that anxiety coming up again. It was like it's totally uncertain, unprecedented, not knowing what was going to happen to the world, what was going to happen to me. I got laid off, all these things happened, blah, blah, blah. But I actually consciously was like, oh my God, I don't have this steady income anymore. I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have a safety net. And then I realized the universe is my safety net. The darkness, all possibilities, endless, infinite possibilities, that my immortal soul, no matter what happens, it's gonna be all right. That was my safety net. It's like, even if I were to die, it wouldn't be fun. It's not my first choice, but it would be okay because I will go on, find new adventures, possibly come back in a new lifetime with new adventures, new things, but let the universe be your safety net. And and if you need to, get a physical. I did for a while. I had a little canister, little stone canister, and I don't know what happened to it. It got lost in a move somewhere along the line. But it was my God box. And like every night, if I had something I was worrying about, I would actually write it out on a little slip of paper and I would put it in the God box and close the top. And you would be amazed at how well that works, doing a physical thing to match what your desire is. And I also found out that a lot of times I would put that in there, what I was worried about, and the next day it would resolve itself, whatever I was worrying about. So like giving that fear, that worry to Goddess, she not only watched over it, she took care of it. And that day, in some way, it got resolved and I didn't have to worry about it. I could have saved myself all that time worrying about it before if I knew for sure it was going to work out, right? And so it's kind of like, let's give that to God, divine, whatever you want to call creator. So those are your cards. I don't have time tonight to do the guided meditation, but I did it last week. If you look, I will post this to my Facebook page so you can watch it again there if you need to. But also my last week's Monday mini medicine card reading is up on my Facebook page. It's also on my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel, along with over a year's worth of these readings and videos and such. But I know last week I did do the guided meditation at the end. So if you look up on my YouTube channel, last week's Monday mini medicine card readings, and just look for the point where I pick up my drum and do a guided meditation. You can utilize these cards in that same meditation, and that way you can meet whichever card or one of the animals that volunteered to walk with you this week. You can meet them face to face, get your personal message from them, what specifically they came here this week to help you with, what is the medicine and the gift that they brought you this week. So you can check that out. And here's the self-promotion part. Thank you for watching, and check out my website at perchingwolfstudios.net. I do this every week. Please join me again. Invite your friends. Please share this. You do me a great favor to share this. The more it goes out, the more people we get in, the more people I can support, and the more people support me. It's a beautiful symbiotic relationship. I do personal readings with a full spread of 5 cards or more, depending on what goes on. But check out my website to set up something like that. I'm actually in the process of setting up an automatic scheduling thing so that you don't have to actually have to like email me and get this back and forth of, okay, what day's good for you? I don't know what day's good for you. I'm going to get that automated so it's easier for you, it's easier for me. But if you enjoyed this, please consider getting a full reading from me. I love my work, and I can promise you, you will not regret it. I've been doing this for many, many years now, and I love it so much. And if you leave less empowered or with less wisdom than you got there, then I will give you your money back. So anyway, so thank you for that. And on my website, you can check out the other shamanic services I offer, like soul retrievals and Reiki, and classes. I'm going to have some classes coming up. Things got kind of pushed back a little bit, so I'm looking at February or March, but I'm planning on starting a new, I've been teaching a year-long shamanic course on basically a monthly course of exploring shamanism, doing different shamanic topics each time, starting with learning to do the shamanic journey, which is how we connect with our spirit guides, and then how to utilize that through the year, through your life. And I kind of have to add a disclaimer that it will change your life. I've been teaching it for 5 years now, I believe, and it's amazing what people do with it. And I've watched people grow and expand their reality. You know, it's not, the disclaimer is like, this is not just like going off and taking a math class or a language class or something. Shamanism will infuse every aspect of your life. And so even between the official lessons, it will be infusing in and integrating into every aspect of your life. And it is that powerful. And so, not for the faint of heart. But keep up to date on my website to see when I'm going to start that. I've got a couple other classes in the works. And I am hoping soon. I've got my, where'd it go? I got my official microphone. I'm going to start a podcast. So lots of exciting things going on. So, you know, like my Facebook page, check out my website, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like I said, there's over a year's worth, almost 2 years worth of these Monday readings, as well as pipe ceremonies and different things. So thank you so much. And if you are so inclined, I do accept donations. I've got my PayPal link in the description of this video, so I am so grateful for anything you would like to give. If you enjoyed this, if you feel like just tossing me a couple bucks or whatever, I am so grateful. So, and thank you for watching this. There's some of you that are new, and I thank you for giving me a chance. I hope you come back next week. Invite your friends, share this video. And then I know there's others that have been watching this since I began, and I am like, oh my God, over the clouds, tickled that you would stay with me. And that is supporting me in my work, and I want to support the community that supports me. Like I said, it's a symbiotic relationship, and as I heal, you heal. As you heal, I heal. So let's do this together. Thank you again for your presence. Oh, and if you're interested, I mentioned the pipe ceremonies. I do a pipe ceremony on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock, same place, same Facebook page. It's like an hour of holding space through the pipe ceremony, the sacred pipe ceremony of the Lakota people, and sending our intentions and prayers straight to Creator. It's a beautiful ceremony, the most sacred space I know of. So join me then if you like, or join me next week, and I hope to see you soon. I'm trying to rack my brains if there's anything else. But Instagram too, you can follow me on Instagram. I would really appreciate that as well. I'm a little bit different on each of the social networks, whatever. And I'm about to also, I've been compiling my old blogs, The Golden Thread Road, into books. And so I'm kind of in the process of getting some books ready to self-publish. And I'm going to start a whole new, I feel like I've kind of shifted gears, kind of had a shift in trajectory. I'm going to start a new blog very, very soon as I figure out what it's going to be called. So anyway, so check out my website, stay up to date on my Facebook page, and I thank you so much. I so appreciate you. I am so grateful for you. And until I see you next, know that I love you, that I see you, that I honor you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Go shining. All right. Bye.